Guest today, Ben Speggen with the Jefferson Educational Society is joining us. And Ben, your Global Summit 2022 continues. It's been a huge success so far this season. Talk a little bit about, how much it means to the community to have this Global Summit.
Sure. Amanda, Kara, thanks so much for having me in this beautiful new studio.
Yeah.
This is wonderful. This is my first time to actually see it in person.
Oh
my gosh, it's fantastic. But it's so exciting to be in the middle of the summit right now. One, it's so exciting because to see how it's grown over the years. This started as a 2.5-day conference, 5 events that drew about 500 people. Now it spans not days but months, and we're continuing now week 3 of really targeted programming here in Erie. And so it's just great to see the community come out and the community participate in a range of programs, from looking at the future of trade skills to race in America to the future of immigration, to be able to talk about the crisis in Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, and what Russia's future looks like, to really span the gamut of so many different issues and bring people together. Sometimes we see a face once, sometimes we see them at all of the events, but it's really great to see that and to see people talking about events afterwards and really continuing that conversation. So what a wonderful thing to be back in the middle of the Global Summit.
Yeah, you have such a wide range of topics that you cover every year. Do you ever just stand back and look in the audience and see young and old and just a huge mix of folks?
So I have the distinct honor and pleasure and privilege to moderate a lot of these conversations. So I get a chance to see the audience from the stage. So I get to look out and see that. And I thought, my gosh, this is the most diverse audience that I've seen ever at Global Summit this year. And I think that's a large part, a huge thanks to our many, many sponsors for helping us get the word out about this, helping us keep ticket prices low. We're seeing a lot of students coming to these events, which is fantastic because the Global Summit and all JES programming is free of charge to all Erie County students and beyond. If somebody has a student ID, you get in for free. And we see they are taking advantage of this. This isn't just give us extra credit and we'll show up to the event, but they're asking great questions at these events. And so it's really great to be able to see that.
It's a recurring theme this year of the future of Russia, the future of America, the future of elections. This week we've got a really interesting one that kind of compares small towns, correct? And the future of how the things that they're sharing with each other is going to kind of dictate how America moves forward.
Yeah, we're really excited for that program, Amanda. That's happening on Thursday, and that's going to be at Gannon University, and it's how towns are writing the future of the nation. And this is also combining my work with the Our Town Civic Foundation. I get to serve as the editorial director of the Our Town Civic Foundation, which was founded by James and Deborah Fallows, no strangers to Erie. They featured us in Our Towns, the book, the best-selling New York Times bestseller, Our Towns, and really told the story of what's happening at the local level, because from afar we might think the country's never been more divided and we can't really reconcile our differences, we can't get along, but when you actually go to the local level, the narrative's the opposite. People are putting aside partisan differences because they care about their towns. They want to find innovative ways to solve problems and challenges that they face, and a lot of these towns face similar challenges and problems. What if we could connect them? That's part of the story of Our Towns, the work that we do in connecting these cities to each other, these towns to each other, how they can learn from one another. And we're actually going to showcase a great example of that. It's called the Community Heart and Soul Model. We've been doing a lot of reporting for Our Towns on this model. Different towns, about 100 nationwide, have gone through this, and it's a several-year process where they just listen to the community. They get people around a table, listen to them, welcome them, go meet people where they are, and if that's meeting them at a diner, if that's meeting them, one town we went to, they put a table in front of a Dollar General just to talk to constituents, to meet people. And so we're going to actually be able to talk to people that are working on that in the field, an illustrious panel that people are going to have a chance to learn from. So excited about that on Thursday.
Yeah, and that is coming up Thursday. More programming, though, throughout the end of the year, right?
Right,
into January?
Yeah, so Kara, we're not quite January. We're not there yet. Maybe next year. Maybe for
We'll have to have you back.
Through the end of the year.
Have me back. But we do have, so the exciting thing is this is the first time ever we're actually taking Global Summit programming into another community. We hear year in and year out from speakers, other towns should have this, other cities should have this. And thankfully, our president, Dr. Ferki Ferrati, did his doctoral research at Pitt on the Chautauqua movement, and we started dreaming up, what would a 21st century Chautauqua movement look like? And of course, Chautauqua housed here in Chautauqua, New York. We know the movement. There were daughter Chautauquas throughout the nation, and it was a way to bring civic education to the people where it was needed. what if we did that in the 21st century? And so we've partnered with our towns to be able to do something like that. So we have 4 programs coming up in California. In Redlands,
Wow.
California next week. I'll be flying out to Redlands to moderate those and
Great.
work with the fellows out there. And then we come right back to Erie here. We have 3 programs in December. We've got John Dickerson talking about his terrific book, The Toughest Job in the World, looking at the American presidency. We've got Judy Woodruff and Al Hunt, a dynamic wife-husband duo that's going to be talking about their life in politics. We have Alan Carroll, who is the inventor of story maps, a really innovative way of telling stories using ArcGIS technology for GIS mapping from a company based in Redlands, California, Esri. So we get a chance to feature all of that.
Great.
So I'm going to catch my breath
Busy.
and see you back in January, but it's going to be great.
So much
Awesome.
going on. Thanks for joining us today, Ben. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for
so
having
much.
me.
All
Good
right.
to see you.